Hi, this is Steve Kraus, Chief of Insights for Similarweb, here with another edition of our weekly winners, our highly selective look at the trends and brands that won the internet last week. Unless otherwise noted, all data in this video are courtesy of Similarweb, the leader in market intelligence, and show data in the United States for the past 28 days that's ending Thursday, July 5th, 2018. Let's get it started. A winner, recipe sites, all of them peaking on July 4th, led by category leader Allrecipes. But you see a similar pattern if we add in Food Network, which is about half the size in terms of daily visits, Epicurious, or the much smaller Simply Recipes. You also see, when we take a look at the marketing mix of how these sites get traffic, the tremendous importance of SEO, because all four of these sites getting over 70% of their traffic through organic search. A winner, the big retailers, led by the biggest of the big, Amazon. All of these retailers saw increases in traffic based on 4th of July sales. Now, if we look at Amazon first, of course, we don't see huge traffic increases because of the huge magnitude of their base, bringing in just about 60 million visits a day in the United States alone. Still, we see their highest points of the month in the days up to July 4th. If we take a look at Walmart, similar pattern. Or Home Depot, again, peaking just around the days around July 4th. Target and Best Buy, and we clearly see the pecking order when we add them all in together. You see just how dominant Amazon is. A winner, the National Basketball Association, because it used to be that only baseball had a really active off-season, its hot stove league. Well, now the NBA is to the point where its off-season activities are generating almost as much interest as the season itself. So here on this chart, we've got the past few months of data looking at daily visits in the United States to NBA.com, and we see a spike, of course, when the regular season ended in mid-April. As I pointed out in a previous video, many people said that Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals felt like the actual finals, and certainly the traffic suggested that as well. We saw the biggest peak of the year for Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, a peak that was not matched by any of the 4 games in the NBA Finals. But here we see tremendous growth with the NBA Draft generating just as much traffic as NBA Finals games, and LeBron James signing with the Lakers on July 2nd generated as much traffic as anything throughout the whole NBA season, with the exception of that Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. And of course, it's not just NBA.com that's ridden the wave of the NBA's off-season popularity. Even huge outlets like ESPN see significant growth in traffic on days of, say, the NBA Draft or LeBron signing, or if we look at a much smaller site, a basketball blog like hoopshype.com, you see, again, spikes on those same 2 days of the draft and LeBron signing. Fox Sports, of course, saw a bit of a spike for LeBron, but saw a much different pattern in their traffic based on their coverage and streaming availability of the World Cup. A winner, Coinbase, and not so much because of their performance in the past week, although they did hit a recent high, what the economists would call a local maxima, on Monday, July 2nd. But if you look at that in the context of their overall performance in the past year, you see how their recent levels really pale in comparison to what they were getting in the big run-up of the cryptocurrency bubble. But rather, they get the award for 2 reasons. One, their strong competitive performance. So if we add in other exchanges such as CoinDesk, Gemini, which is run by the Winklevi, or Release the Kraken, you see how they're so much lower. You could reasonably say, well, all the action in cryptocurrencies is happening over on the app side. Well, if we look just, for example, over the past 12 months, we're looking at Android performance. You see Coinbase in terms of their downloads. Again, they got a big run up when the bubble was really taking hold. But again, if you look at their competitive context, you see how they're performing much more strongly than, say, Binance. Then if you look on a cumulative basis at their install penetration, you see that they are holding pretty steady at about 2% install penetration on Android, not growing as fast as they were, obviously, but still growing somewhat and keeping that net churn at bay, and again, performing much more strongly than competitor Binance. But Coinbase is mostly a winner this week because their chief technology officer at a TechCrunch conference described the company as kind of like a mullet. The haircut that's famous for being business in the front and a party in the back, sort of an analogy of how Coinbase works with banks and reputable institutions up front, yet ties into the wild world of crypto on the back end. And as far as I'm concerned, anytime a chief technical officer compares their unicorn startup to a mullet, they're a winner in my book. That's all for this week. I'm Steve Kraus, Chief of Insights for Similarweb. Until next time, may all your decisions be data-driven.